arrived at my granddaughter Sophia's birthday party, holding a small box I had carefully wrapped myself. The brownstone on Manhattan's Upper West Side looked dazzling. White orchids in crystal vases, a quartet playing soft jazz, servers in pressed vests gliding smoothly across the polished floor. It wasn't really an invitation. It was more of an expectation. That quiet shift between being wanted and being tolerated had been building for years. "Grandma Margaret is here," my son Michael announced. He didn't lift his eyes from the glow of his phone. His tone was casual, almost indifferent, like reporting that the weather had turned slightly cloudy. I pressed the package closer to my chest. Inside were 2 knitted dolls, Sophia in a lace-trimmed wedding gown, her fiancé Ethan in a black tuxedo. My arthritic hands had worked for weeks to finish them. No one knew that within the chest of Sophia's doll was a hidden treasure, a diamond that had belonged to our family for 3 generations. My late husband, George, had it reset for our 50th anniversary. Sophia had hinted about wanting it more than once. When it was time for gifts, my daughter-in-law Victoria tapped her glass. "Sophia, darling, start with the smaller ones." Sophia's eyes flicked toward me. She smiled, but it was the kind of smile that didn't warm her eyes. I stepped forward. "Happy birthday, sweetheart." She took the box delicately, her diamond bracelet catching the chandelier's light. Across the room, Ethan watched with the detached look of someone choosing wine from a menu. Sophia unwrapped the dolls. Silence swept the room. She held them away from her silk dress, then burst out laughing. "This looks so cheap," she said, her voice cutting through the air. Her laughter spread like fire. Ethan chuckled. Michael barked too loudly. Victoria offered a polite titter. Guests who barely knew me joined in. Heat rose to my face. I couldn't move. The doll, with the diamond hidden inside, swung between her fingertips like a piece of trash. That night, I went home alone. I didn't turn on the lights. Silence felt safer than voices. On my laptop, a new email glared at me. Subject: Final venue confirmation. Whitmore Beach House. Attachments included contracts from planners and caterers, each requiring my approval and payment. The venue listed my beloved East Hampton home, the house George and I had bought 4 decades earlier, where our children learned to swim, where we held summer dinners under the cherry tree, where I scattered George's ashes. Sophia's message below was short. Invitations are already sent. Renovations start next month. Your old furniture will need to go. Not a question, not a request, a declaration. The next morning, Michael's text arrived. Mom, Victoria found a great retirement community in Connecticut. We scheduled a visit. I deleted it. From my window, I watched Manhattan's skyline glitter. How many lives were decided up there, behind closed office doors, without the people affected ever being asked? Was I just another life to be managed? Without brushing my hair, I grabbed my purse, my keys, and drove toward East Hampton. The drive felt longer than usual. My hands cramped around the steering wheel, not from age, but from the determination that carried me forward. A sleek SUV sat in the driveway. Voices echoed from the great room. The wall between kitchen and dining can definitely come down. She won't care, Mrs. Whitmore is barely here. I stepped inside. Sophia, Victoria, and a designer were clustered around glossy slides. Actually, I said, voice steady, I do care. All three turned. Victoria pasted on a smile. Margaret, what a surprise. Just discussing small updates. Removing a load-bearing wall isn't small, I replied. Who approved this? Sophia tilted her head. Grandma, remember at Christmas? You said we could make the house perfect. I said you could use it. I never agreed to renovations. The designer cut in, patronizing. Not demolition, just modernization. The house has great bones, but the look is dated. Think Instagram ready? Hampton's chic. I glanced at the mantel. The photo of George and me was gone. In its place, a bland vision board of beige swatches. Where's my photograph? I asked sharply. Oh, packed safely, Victoria said airily. That night, after they left, I searched the garage. 3 cardboard boxes marked Margaret's things. Inside, the photo, George's books, our anniversary album, and the dolls, dumped on top like junk. The diamond still intact. My phone rang. Michael. Mom, about the retirement place. We should talk. And about the house. We think moving it into a family trust is best. For taxes. On my table sat a glossy brochure, Seaside Serenity, where independence meets assistance. They were already writing me out of the story. The next day, I met Helen, my oldest friend. I told her everything. Sophia's cruelty, the house plans, the trust, the retirement brochures. Helen listened, then set down her fork. Margaret, this isn't just rude. This is a hostile takeover. The words jolted me. Later, my doctor frowned at my rising blood pressure. Stress at your age is dangerous. I've seen family disputes put patients in the hospital. On the way home, I stepped into our old bank. Inside the safe deposit box were documents no one knew about. Insurance, deeds, passwords. Proof that everything was still in my name. That evening, my grandson Daniel called. Grandma, are you okay? I saw Dad's papers, mortgages, debts. I think they're in trouble. My stomach nodded. As we spoke, I logged into my bank account. 3 failed login attempts. Someone was trying to force my hand. I'd been on defense too long. It was time to fight back. The next morning, I called Richard Hale, George's old friend and attorney. We met in a quiet cafe. I told him everything. He spread the documents across the table. Michael is drowning. Second mortgage, credit cards, failed projects. If you don't act fast, they'll trap you. What should I do? Secure your accounts. Confirm titles are yours alone. Then decide, do you still want their wedding in your home? Images flashed. Sophia's cruel laugh, the mantle stripped bare, my dolls mocked. No, I said firmly. I want to sell it. That evening, I called Laura Price, a discreet real estate agent. I need a buyer for East Hampton. Quiet, fast. She hesitated. Most beachfront homes take months. Not this one, I said. The next day, I walked room by room, touching the banister George had sanded, the windows we once opened to ocean air. I gathered photo albums, his ashes, and the things that mattered. A week later, Laura called. I found a private buyer, full price. They'll close in 40 days. Do it, I said without hesitation. That night I packed. The designer's swatches still taped to my bedroom wall. I left them behind. I only took what was mine. As I locked the front door, headlights swept the driveway. A woman with a clipboard stepped out. Mrs. Whitmore? Evermore Events. Tent layout check. No need, I said calmly. The wedding plans have changed. Back in the city, I told Daniel over roast chicken. I'm selling the house. Closing before the wedding. His fork froze. They'll lose their minds. Probably, I said. But it's my home, not theirs. That night my phone erupted. Missed calls from Michael, frantic texts from Sophia. The last one screamed in all caps, "Please tell me this isn't true." For the first time in weeks, I slept peacefully. The next morning, Michael stormed into my apartment. A private sale? Weeks before her wedding? Yes, I'm simplifying my life. You're sabotaging Sophia's future. My house, I reminded him. He sagged. I'm in trouble, Mom. The Westridge project collapsed. I need capital. So it's money and concern. We're worried about you. No, you wanted control. The house closes in 5 weeks, I said. The money will be in new accounts, ones you can't touch. You do this to your own family? You already did. I moved into a Cambridge condo. Modern, quiet, filled with light. 2 days later, Daniel brought me a framed photo, the beach house glowing at sunset. I took it last summer, he said shyly. It's beautiful, I whispered. Over pasta, he shared that his photography business was growing. 2 galleries want to feature me. That's wonderful, I said, smiling. You're the only one who really saw me, he said softly. That night, I stood by my new window, watching the Charles River shimmer. Messages buzzed in. Michael's cold, Victoria's sharp, Sophia's frantic. None asked how I was. And for once, I didn't need them to. Weeks later, Helen called. I saw Sophia at Bloomingdale's. She was returning gifts. She cried in housewares. Daniel confirmed it. Ethan had ended the engagement. Sophia hadn't left her apartment in days. I wanted to feel vindicated. Instead, I felt reflection. That evening, Michael called. She's not well. Please, call her. After a long pause, I texted Sophia. Coffee? Her reply, why? To gloat? No, to listen. At Café Darien, she arrived with red eyes. You look exhausted, I said. She laughed bitterly. Thanks, Grandma. We talked. She confessed Ethan had moved on. I told her the truth, that I hadn't sold the house to hurt her, but because I refused to be erased. She whispered, You humiliated me. And you humiliated me. Do you know what was inside that doll? Her eyes widened. What? A diamond. Reset for our 50th anniversary. She gasped. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't know. I know, I said gently. Days later, she came to my door with the dolls. She opened the seam herself. The diamond glimmered in her palm. I don't deserve this, she whispered. It was never about deserving. It was a gift. I'm in therapy now, she said softly. It's helping. I smiled. Good. Maybe one day we'll truly talk. A year later, I hosted a small dinner in my Cambridge condo. Daniel and his partner came. Helen, Richard, even Michael. And near the end, Sophia, carrying flowers. My home was different, light, modern, filled with Daniel's photographs. Over dinner, Daniel raised a glass. To Grandma Margaret, who taught us it's never too late to stand up for yourself. Sophia added quietly, and that true value isn't always on the surface. Before leaving, she pressed a velvet box into my hand. Inside, the diamond, reset into a silver pendant. You should wear it, she said, not hide it away. I clasped it around my neck. Later, I stood on my balcony, the Charles River shimmering below. The beach house was gone, the family fractured, but what remained felt real. Not perfect, true, and mine. If you found this story moving, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next story. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Margaret's place?